Hello, my friends. It's Laura Milligan, and I am here for a Facebook Live. I have um, some really cool cards to share with you today, and I'm going to be featuring a new bundle from our new mini catalog, and it is a hybrid embossing folder. It's the Adoring Hearts Suite. And I've had a lot of questions. I had a couple questions just last week about it, so I thought, well, that is probably then something that I should do for Facebook Live, and so that I can share and teach with you what I know about these hybrid embossing folders. So if you're there, thank you for being there. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on the replay, I appreciate that as well. We're going to get started in just a minute. I'll give everybody a minute to sign in and find me. There's Mary Jo. Hi, Mary Jo. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Marcia. Hi, Anne Marie. So I finally was able to walk Charlie today, and I kind of did it in the rain, so I noticed like I'm sort of having a bad hair day today because it was raining, it was drizzling, and that does not always work well for my hair. But he has not had a walk for a long time since last week because it was so bitter cold, and then we got snow, and then we got ice, and I don't walk in the ice. So anyway, we had a walk today. So how about all of you? Oh, thank you. Yeah, isn't this fun? I love this. I saw this. This was actually a gift from my daughter, Sarah. I told her about it, and she surprised me and went and bought it for me. But yeah, it was super, super cute. So I am going to, hi, Susie, how are you? Hi, Terry. So I am, oh, Debbie, you're too sweet. I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera view down and show you what we're going to do today. And so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to show you in our mini catalog. This is our new January to April 2024 mini catalog. How cute is this? I think we should all go have ice cream today. Doesn't that make you want some ice cream? I don't know. But what I'm featuring today, hi Sarah. What I'm featuring today is the Adoring Hearts stamp set and the Adoring Hearts hybrid embossing folder. So it is actually two different things, but you can also get this as a whole bundle. You can get the stamp set and then the embossing folder with the hybrid part to it, the hybrid embossing folder. So I'm going to show you that. And I want to show you the paper that I'm using is from Celebration. We are in the midst of Celebration, which is everybody's favorite time of year because it means that with every purchase that you make, you get to pick something free. And so I'm going to feature today the Most Adored 12 by 12 Specialty Designer Series paper. Love this paper. I feel like it's something that perhaps could be missed in the catalog, but you know what? I just noticed this card here is using, let me hold this up so you can see it better. This is using the Adoring Hearts bundle. So there's a super cute idea with this paper and these dies with this bundle right there. And it even says Adoring. So the paper is made to coordinate with this bundle. And this is free with a $50 purchase. The bundle that I'm using is $53. That includes the stamp set, an embossing folder, and then a die. And I'll show you that in a minute. But let me show you. This is the Most Adored specialty paper, and let me just show you this. It's really pretty. So you have one side. That reminds me of, do you remember we used to do a technique called shaving cream technique, and we would put shaving cream in a tray, like shaving foam, and then we would drip re-inkers into the shaving foam and kind of swirl it around a little bit and then press our cardstock into the shaving cream, and then you kind of like scrape it off, and it sort of looked like this. That made me think of that. So then there's that pattern. This, I love the hearts. Hearts are my favorite shape. I love hearts. And this paper has a lot of hearts on it. There's a cute plaid. And then here's another really cute heart. This one kind of makes me think of conversation hearts. They're probably about the same size. But then the other side of this is gold. And it has some hearts, some flowers. There's a plaid, some other little sprigs. And I think this shape here well, I was going to say, I think it coordinates with the die, but it does not, but it would complement it. So that's the back side of the paper. Of course, I love this one with all the little hearts. So it's pretty cool paper. Do you like conversation hearts? I don't know if that's something people like. I don't really like them, but don't you remember growing up, we would read all of them, and it was kind of fun to see what they said. All right, I'm going to bring my little grid paper in here, and I'm going to just get started. I'm going to be bringing my die cutting machine in here because I wanted to show you. So here's the stamp set. Here's the embossing folder. Look how big it is. This is like, well, it's about 6-inch square, the whole design. And then these are the dies that go with it. And look how cool this little grid of 9 hearts. There are, well, let me pull this out. And what I thought, I'm going to make 2 cards today with this, and then on Monday, I will come back at my normal time, and I have a 3rd card that I'm going to share with you. But here are the parts of the dies. So this part, this is a magnet, so let me pull that up. So here is this, which is so cool, and this would die cut the shape of these hearts. And I will show you this in action in a minute here. And then there are all these little pieces, and what you can do is, if you want to die cut, like, and you'll see as I use this, but these actually fit inside these big hearts. So you can die cut those shapes. They add some detail, which I am making a card with that I've used one of those on. There's a word banner, there's some sprigs, there's these hearts. And so I did this, look at this. This shows all the shapes that the dies will cut. Here's the little hearts, there's that, here's these little sprigs, more sprigs, teeny little hearts. And like this is the outline of the hearts, which I think is so cute. And then you can also use the 3 little inserts. And then these are the more detailed dies, and aren't those cute? And you know what, I just noticed, okay, I thought my finger was bleeding, but it's red ink. It's real red ink. I have, you can look at my hands, and I haven't even started stamping yet. But this, I think this is a good way to show the different shapes. And like this shape, I'm going to use this on one of my cards today. That was made with this and just positioning it so you would get just like that little outline there. So that's all that the dies do. All right, so I'm going to start just with a card. I got all my parts and pieces here. Let me get these out. Okay, got some little parts and pieces for this today. And you may not be able to see them all yet at this point. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to show you was with this, oh, look, there's one of my little hearts. I'll be looking for that in a minute. Put that over there. So first of all, this is a hybrid embossing folder. People always ask about hybrid embossing folders and what it means, and we have had some of these before, and they are so, so cool. And I just want to show you some different things you can do with it. So my first card actually uses this as an embossing folder, just like you would any other folder. And so I have already cut this and embossed it, but what you basically would do is just, you know, put your cardstock, like I'll just show you with this little piece here. I'm going to put my cardstock here. Maybe I just needed 1 embossed heart. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to put it in my die cutting machine. They recommend that you put the fold in first, or the, you know, where the binding, or I call it the fold, that should go in first. This is a 3D embossing folder. So you would use, I'm going to pull all my plates out here. Everything's upside down. So when you want to emboss with this, you're going to look at your die cutting machine and the base plate, and here is the instructions for how to, and I know you can't read this now online, but I'm pointing to it, so if you have yours, you can look at it. This is like the recipe for all the times you would use our die cutting machine. This tells you, depending on what you're die cutting or embossing, which sandwich to use. So for this one, it says number 1, which is this one, and then number 4, which is right here. And that's all you need. And then you put your embossing folder in. So I would just go ahead and do that. I would push it through the machine, and when it comes out, it's going to look like this. And I'm going to hold this up. Look how beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Look at the detail of those hearts. And it was funny because when I was doing this, I also flipped it over, and I thought this side looked pretty too. The little heart, do you see those real teeny little hearts on there? Those are like debossed, but the details are embossed, which they're like pushed out. But this is the right side, I guess. The little details for the most part are embossed, or I'm sorry, debossed. But then you can see for this, like the heart, and some of this is embossed, so it's pushed out. There's a little bit of both. So I really think you could do this folder. You could do this either way. I don't know. What do you all think? Do you like it better this way with the hearts debossed, or with the hearts popping up? It's your own personal preference. So I'm going to make a card just with this. And I am going to start with my bone folder, thick basic white cardstock. I like to score this ahead of time on my paper trimmer, and I still like to give it a good crease. Yeah, Anne Marie says she likes both sides. I'm with you. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Oh, yes, someone says don't get ink on your sweatshirt. I know. Red ink is, yeah. But you know what I always say? If you have inky fingers, it means you're part of the Inky Fingers Club. You're really cool. It means you're part of the cool, you're one of the cool people, right? All right, so I'm going to take, this is a piece of that designer paper that I showed you, and I'm going to take my embossed panel, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach this. Set this aside a minute. I'm going to just put a little bead of glue the whole length of this panel here. With these hybrid embossing folders in this bundle, you can get a lot of mileage out of this. You're not just limited to one thing. And I'm just going to eyeball this. That is really crooked, but let's see if I can get that. Did anybody comment about conversation hearts? I didn't, the comments go by kind of quickly. I didn't catch them, but do you like conversation hearts? I don't know. I'd rather have chocolate, I guess. If I'm going to eat candy, it's going to be chocolate, right? Okay, so I have this, and I'm going to set this aside a minute. And now I'm going to take this heart, which was cut from the dies. This is like the end, so you can see how that fits in there. That's where I got that piece. I just ran it through with white cardstock, and I got a heart like that. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then I used one of these detailed dies, and I ran that through, and I've got that cut, and that's going to go on there. And then I also have, before I put these away, I cut 2 of these sprigs. Those are there. And then I have cut one of this little word banner shape. I'm going to use that. And I think that's all for that one. So I'm going to set that aside a minute. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my words. And for this one, I use Just For You from the stamp set. I'm using real red ink, as I said. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. Okay, so there we have Just For You. Set that aside. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some glue. I'm going to set my red ink back here for a minute, but I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the back side of this detailed heart. Just put some little dabs here and there. I don't want to put too much because I don't want it to ooze out. Okay, let me just put a couple little dabs here. Just like that. I'm just going to kind of spread this out. And then I'm just going to center this on my heart, my white heart. And I think what I'm going to do is take a block. I'll just take this block and I'll just set that there for a minute to let that dry. And so in the meantime then I'm going to go ahead, this is probably fine. Yeah, that just gives it a little push to hold it down, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to set that there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this. I think this is pretty just like this, don't you? I mean, it's just very simple and clean looking, but really, really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this with dimensionals. There's the backs. Look how pretty that looks. That's kind of fun too. All right, my dimensionals are over here. Oops, I put it on the wrong side. So that's a little boo-boo there, but I'll show you my finished one, my sample. Kind of rip the paper off. All right, now I'm gonna put one, I think, in the center as well. So go ahead and do this. Okay, so we have this, and I'm just going to center this panel on my card. It's funny because everything, it's just one of those days, everything I make is crooked or wonky or something, and then I'm just going to put this here, and before I attach this though, I'm going to take these two little sprigs and kind of position those. Here's the other one. No, I can't pick it up. There we go. They're going to be just sort of like that, but I just want to make sure that's how I want them. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to move this up a little bit. I'm just going to position these, and then what I'm going to do is put a dimensional on them. That way they're not going to be popped up, but my heart will be. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and get another dimensional. I need a new sheet. These are almost all gone. I have more, but always have dimensionals on hand. Okay, so that's going to go there like that. And that's probably enough. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and attach my heart there like that. So you just see a bit of those little sprigs coming out. Then I'm going to take this, and I will go ahead and pop this up as well. And actually, I'm going to use these little strips here. Let me find my paper snips. Here they are. And I'm just going to cut a couple little pieces, and I think they're about the right width that I need. Yeah, they'll be great. So I'll just put some there. You want to be sure to use these edges of of your dimensionals. They're just as good as the others, and there's times like now when you need just little strips like that. Oh, you know what? That's a great that's really I love that, Teresa. She says, "I love the sprigs. They almost look like an arrow going through the heart." You're right. That's a really neat observation. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here like that, and then I have some of these teeny tiny little hearts, and I have several of them. And I think what I'm going to do for these, hope that's stuck there, I'm going to just put a teeny dab of glue on this. This one's really teeny. I'm just going to put that there. Just going to scatter these up here, and then I'll do one here. I love Valentine's Day, and I love making and sending Valentines, and I always say, you know, this, like, for example, this isn't exactly a Valentine's Day card. I'm going to put a Valentine greeting on the inside, but there's never a bad time to tell someone that you love them, right? We need more love in this world, so spread love and make cards, right? Okay, and then I'm going to grab my gems. These are new. These are called iridescent foil gems. Look how pretty and shimmery. So I'm just going to put a couple of these on my card. It's so funny because I'm so used to using my take your pick tool that if I don't have it, I feel lost without it. So these come in, there's two different sizes. I'm going to use for this card just the little ones, but these are cool. They have like sparkly things inside of them. I'll put one there, and then I'm just going to tuck one right there. Some of them have more gold than the others. Some are a little bit more clear. Okay, I'm just going to put that right there like that. So there's the front of my card. Let me hold it up so you can see it. I didn't put any ribbon on this card, but I feel like it has enough going on. And really, if you could see this in person, I don't know if it's, I think it's coming through pretty good on the camera, but the detail, it's just beautiful. I think it is anyway. Okay, so then for the inside, I just have, do I? I thought I had, maybe I don't. Well, let me see. Sometimes things get buried alive here. Let me just show you what I did. Well, so I had, this is the same size as this small, more detailed heart. But I think you could just put this here. I'll show you on my sample that I made. I just put a little strip of the designer paper and then added the heart there. I'm going to put a gem because I like putting gems on the inside of the cards that I make. And you know what? I'm just going to put it right there like that. It's just kind of a fun little surprise, right? So here's my sample that I made. Here's the one I made today. So, or just now with you, I mean. Really pretty card. And of course you could do some stamping on the envelope. You could add a strip of this DSP on the flap. And I guess I did not stamp a greeting on this one. I'm going to on my next one, but okay, so that is card number 1 for today. And what's really fun is, and this is kind of what I did, like you run this whole thing, you know, you have to position these so that they're centered, but run all of these dies through your die cutting machine at one time, and then you have all these little parts and pieces to play with, and it's almost like putting a puzzle together. You could use, you know, any of these different ones for your cards. So that is my first card for today. So the second one, and this one is the one that this is why I have ink all over my fingers, but it's kind of fun. So I wanted to show you this. So let me make some space here because I'm going to bring in my big die cutting machine. Let me clean up a bit here. Give me 1 second. See, I should do this every time. If I cleaned up as I went along, I would probably be able to find things instead of having them get buried alive and have to search for them, even though most of the time they're like right here and I just can't see them. But luckily you can't see beyond this area today because, oh boy, it's a happening place, this part of my table. All right, so I'm going to grab my die cutting machine, my big die cutting machine, and this you would need. You can't do this with your mini. This die is too big. So I am going to take, where is it? Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to take my embossing folder. So on the last card, I showed you how to use it just as a regular embossing folder. You put your cardstock inside. You're going to use plate number 1 and plate number 4 and put it through. And so for this one, I wanted to show you how to use it as a hybrid embossing folder. So I'm starting out with, that was just a scrap paper. I'm starting out with a square of basic white cardstock. I believe it's 3 3/4. Hi, Marianne. Yeah, that would make a beautiful wedding card. You're right. Thank you, Terry. Thanks, Mary Jo. So this, I'm going to use this in a minute, but I want to show you something. So, hybrid embossing folder. What I wanted to do is, I'm going to take it up a notch. I'll show you what else you can do with this. So, I have this. This is the hybrid embossing folder, and it actually, you just sort of move it around and it literally will snap in place. And you're going to do this on the side that says Stampin' Up right there, okay? So you just move this around and it's not like a big click, but you can see how, like now it's not moving. It's inside this embossing folder, okay? And I'm going to actually run it through the die cutting machine with this on here. And I know if you've seen me use these hybrid embossing folders before, I've said this before, you've heard me say this, that the first time I used one of these, I was afraid because I thought surely this is going to cut through my whole embossing folder. I'm going to ruin the whole thing. And the first time I use it, but somehow it's the thickness, I guess, of the folder. It's a 3D embossing folder, and it works, and it is the coolest thing. But I'm going to set this aside a minute and get it out of here. See, it's kind of stuck in there. There we go. And I'm going to use, we have reintroduced with this catalog a brayer. And isn't it nice that this brayer that I'm using coordinates with my project today? I thought that was a coincidence. But what I'm going to do is use my brayer and then use the hybrid die and run that through. And so with the brayer, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see all this, but I'm just going to ink this. Oh, and I got a bit of fuzz. I think it'll be okay. I see something, a little piece of fuzz on my ink pad, but I'm going round and round. What you want to make sure of when you use the brayer is you don't want to just go back and forth like this, because you're not getting ink on all of your the whole diameter or circumference of your brayer. So you want to just roll and roll and make sure you've got good coverage. And I am going to, and again, this is the side that says Stampin' Up. There's a little Stampin' Up logo. And I'm going to go ahead and I really only need to ink up these 4 hearts here because that's the size I need for my card. And so I'm just going to go over this a few times, and you can see if it has enough ink on it or not. So I'm just kind of taking my time, and I want to have a good look before and that looks pretty good. Oh, I see one spot I want to put some more ink on, just right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to, I'm going to go over the whole thing again, just to be sure. I think it's better to, err on the side of caution, put more ink than you think you may need. Okay. The other thing I'm going to mention on this, look how cute this is. It has little legs. So when you're done with it, you just set it down, and it's not going to get ink on your table or whatever surface you're stamping on. So I thought that was kind of cool. I know when we've had brayers before, they never had that. So I thought that was a good new addition to our brayer. And for now, I'm going to just put this on a paper towel. Normally then what I would do when I want to clean it is I would just take it to my kitchen sink and run it under the tap water, and it would be clean. But for right now, I'm just going to set that out of the way back there. Okay, now here comes the cool part. I'm going to take this die and just put it in place. I'm going to snap it in place like I talked about. Just make sure and that actually went in the right place that particular time. Just perfect. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to position this, and I couldn't decide if it was easier to put it this way on top of my hearts that, the inked up side, or if it was better to put it this way. And I thought it was maybe better to put it this way. And what I did was I took a peek and just made sure, I'm eyeballing this, but I'm going to make sure that it is pretty straight on there, and that is not. Let me get this up. I'm going to move this up a little bit. I need to go that way too. Before I put it through, I just want to make sure, and that looks pretty good. It does not have, I'm not going to get my ruler out. I'm not that finicky about it, but I do want to make sure it's straight and, as even as it can be. And that looks pretty good. So then what I'm going to do is just close this like that. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and get my die cutting machine lined up here. And so I'm going to do the same platform as I would be if this was just using the embossing folder without the dies in there, because it's still a 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to use plate 1 and plate 4. I'm going to put the hinge, the seam, whatever you want to call it, put that there first, and then I'm going to use plate number 4, Okay, and then I'm going to crank this. Crank that through, and we'll pull it out, and we will have the grand unveiling. Oops. All right. So I'm going to open this up. I'll put all this away, and let's see how we did. So there we have that. And here we have, so it has popped out. And what I'll do is take this when I'm done and rinse it under my tap water as well, under my kitchen sink, and just get this all cleaned off. It's plastic, so nothing's going to happen to it. So I'm going to get that out of the way. I've got some cleanup to do when I'm done here. And so now you can see it's cut those heart shapes, but it's also embossed them, all 4 of them, and they have ink on them. Let me hold this up. Isn't that cool? I think that is such a cool thing. And it's just as pretty if you do, like, I love just plain white. I love the look of it with the added texture of the embossing, but you could do this same thing without adding the ink. That was just an extra fun step that I wanted to show you, because we do have this new brayer, and I know that it's a fun little technique. So I'm going to set these aside here, and I'm going to use these for a card. And I don't know if I said this, but come back on Monday, because I have one more card that I've made with this suite of products, with this bundled set of products. So I'm going to start with the thick basic white card base, and you know that's kind of my go-to card base. I just like the crisp, clean look of it. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this. Look how cute this paper is with the hearts. There's the back side. You could do either, really. Before I add that paper, I'm going to stamp my words, and I'm going to use, and this really is easy. Like the first time I did that, I thought, people are asking me about this, and so I need to figure out, things have been crazy in our family the past month or so. We've had a lot going on, and I honestly did not have a chance to use this until last week. Someone was asking me about it, someone that was here, and so I ran it through the die cutting machine, but I didn't do any color or anything like that. And I was like, that's so cool. I need to figure out I need to play around with that a little bit. And the first time I did it today, I was successful. So it's easy to do, pretty user friendly. But I'm going to just stamp To My Valentine here. But the other words are celebrating you, you are most loved, just for you, with all my heart, and I adore you. I'm going to use I adore you on my card on Monday. I already have it made, which is nice. So I'm going to grab my red ink again, and I'm just going to ink this at the bottom here, To My Valentine. Don't be afraid to try it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is take this piece, and I'm just going to center this with glue. Yeah, so I see a lot of people are saying, oh, I might have to get that bundle. I want that bundle now. So if you do get this bundle, you can pick this paper as your free celebration reward. So then you can make these cards exactly as I've done. You already have a few ideas, and you'll get another idea on Monday if you come back. So there we have that. Heart's my favorite shape. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this on top like that. Okay. I've got a little bit too much there. I don't want that to blob out. Okay, so we have that. I'm just centering this on this square. And I think this is adorable, even just plain like this. But you got to take it a step further, right? So I'm going to take my red ribbon, which is right here. This is from the annual catalog. It's this bullet ribbon, and then there's like a burlap ribbon that comes with it. But I thought this red was really nice, and I like that it's not real thick. I love the width of it. Let me find my scissors. And And I'm going to go ahead and just angle this edge a little bit. And then I'll put there as well. So I have that. I'm going to go ahead and just stick this down. And I think I'm just going to put a little bit of my Stampin' Seal there to hold this ribbon in place. Just like that. Okay. Then what I thought would be fun is just to take one of these. Originally what I thought of was, well, I'll just put all 4 of these back in here and pop them up. I think that would be really, really cute. But I wanted more of this paper to show. And so what I did was I just took one of these and offset it and popped it up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to get my dimensionals again. Put some on the back of this. And that's just going to be offset a little bit like that. And then I thought I should add a little bit more ribbon. I felt like it needed something else, so I've just got my trusty white baker's twine. And, come on, my fingers. And I have more ink on my hands, I'm noticing, as I'm doing this. My friend Renee's here helping me, and if you guys like my bee shirt, you should see her shirt. It's covered in, she's a dog lover. Well, I am too, but she really loves dogs, and she has the cutest dog sweatshirt on today. I know you're going to want to see it, but she may not want to be a model today. She's laughing. Anyway, okay, so I'm just going to snip this a little bit. I am going to, you know how I like to pull my bows down. I'm going to take a little bit of, let me see if I can find my glue dots. Maybe not. If I can't, it's okay. I thought I just had them. Okay, so just give me 1 second while I look around. Nope, I don't see them. So what I'll do, I'm just going to go ahead for now. Actually, I think it might just stay under there because of the Stampin' Seal. Oh, here's some. Thank you, Renee. Came to my rescue. I'm gonna just put some glue, pick up a glue dot with where the knot of my bow is, and I'll just tuck this under here. I use white baker's twine a lot. I like all the colors, but white is just kind of my go-to. And so there's just a little bit of a bow there. It's kind of hanging off the edge, and then I'm just going to add some gems. Yes, Renee, they say, of course we need to see your doggy shirt. I'll have her come over here when I switch the camera view up. She's going to kill me for this, but she won't care. We love each other. She's going, Laura. She's adorable. Everybody loves Renee, especially me. Okay, so I've got those 2 there, and then I thought I'd put one down here. I've sort of made like a triangle with my gems. I like to do that. That was something I learned a while ago. So there's the front of my card to my Valentine. And then on the inside, I have, just to finish it up, I took a little piece of that heart paper. It's about 1/2 inch by probably 4. And this was just a scrap that was laying there left over from something else I had cut. And I thought, well, I'm just going to put this on the inside. Just like that. And then I have all these hearts, of course. And so we could pick any one that we wanted to. And I think I'm going to do this one. And I'm just going to put that on the inside of the card there. And I'm going to grab my dimensionals again. Here they are right beside me. Going to go ahead and pop these up. See, Myra says, we do love Renee. She is so sweet. She is so sweet. Everyone needs a friend like Renee. She's the best. She's a blessing to me. And we were laughing this morning. I said, well, hopefully, Renee, you're still speaking to me because we have a lot of fun. And she never knows what she's going to get into when she shows up here. And fortunately, she keeps coming back. So yeah, I love her. She's the best. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. And then again, you could put this paper on the flap of your envelope. This is a 12 by 12 pack of paper, so you're going to have plenty of paper. Don't hoard it. You've got to use it. And, cover the flap of your envelope. I showed you how to do that. You could stamp something on the outside as well, but there is my card number 2. So let me bring the other one in here. Show you both of them. I love the red and the white and the crisp. I'm going to hold these up so at least this one you can see the detail in the white, and then of course the embossed popped up heart there. So if you want to place an order, you can go to lauramilligan.com/shop. This is my current host code. If you are watching on replay, thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate all your comments. I read them all. Thanks, Colleen. Thanks, Marcia. Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, so I'm going to switch my view, see if I can get Renee to come over here. Okay, here we are. So thank you all for watching today. And here she comes. She's going to... Look how cute. Look how cute her shirt... Well, she's cute wearing it, but look how cute is covered in all these... cute dogs. Is that not the cutest? Thank you. You know I love you, Renee. She's the best. So thank you all for watching today, and I will be back Monday at my normal time. Look forward to seeing you then. I hope that you all have a good weekend, and we have a few days till the weekend, but we are busy in preparation for my first cruise, Stampin' cruise that I'm hosting. It's Stampin' at Sea. I'm doing this co-hosting with my demonstrator friend Janice, and we are super, super excited. Last week we mailed out all of our boxes, and everyone has received them. When we're on the cruise, I will be sharing things every day to show you kind of what's going on, what we're doing, and we're definitely going to do this again. First time you do anything, there's always a learning curve, right? But it's going to be so much fun. We're so excited. So you can look forward to me sharing some of that. We actually leave the end of next week, and it's a 5-day cruise. So Renee's my roommate. She's a glutton for punishment. What can I say? No, I'm just kidding. We have a lot of fun together. And so thank you all for watching today. Please reach out if you have questions. If you have questions on this hybrid embossing folder, but I think it's pretty easy to use. You just need to have someone explain to you how to use it. And so hopefully I did a good job and you feel comfortable giving it a try and using it. They are a lot of fun. And oh, Susan, just curious, does Stampin' Up! Assign you the host code? Stampin' Up! Assigns them. They assign them to us. Each order that you put in has its own distinct order number, and then you get a host code too. So yeah, that I don't come up with those numbers at all. But speaking of that, if you ever are putting an order in and you wonder what my current host code is, you can go to my blog, which is lauramilligan.com, and it's always going to be found in the right sidebar. So you can go there and you can see what that host code is, and I sure appreciate you using that code. So thank you all for watching today. I look forward to seeing you next time, and as always, I hope you have time to be creative today. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.